As you can see, as we start our day for Detroit today, the kids are doing their jobs, getting the car all locked up and packed up and ready to go. Now, I don't want to say that the crime rate in Detroit is high, but when I looked up the stats last night and talked with the kids about it, let's just say Joey decided to get ready to go in a whole different way. Joseph Riley, ready to go. Well, we made it to Detroit, and we're over by Wayne State University. Okay. So the kids are waiting because we're going to go to the potato shop, see what they have. We've already talked to a real estate person, so we've got some codes that we can visit the buildings that we want, assuming we can find them. Now here's something that you don't see all the time, an actual payphone. And it's so odd, we're all looking at it like, what the heck? The big wooden steps or staircases, like in my father's day, are still in the area on some of these taller buildings. It's pretty unique. And you see all the older architecture along with the new, Wayne State University, like I said. We're right across from their welcome center. Okay, on Joey's request, we're stopping at the potato place. Everybody wants to eat at the potato place. They have potatoes. This is the inside of the potato place. They specialize in stuffed potatoes, but they have other things too, as baked goods. They got all kinds of stuff. Their potatoes are huge and tasty. Even the noodles are yummy. And the homemade soups are healthy. But buy my potatoes because they're heavy. At least that's what the mannequin says. Weird thing I've just discovered. Okay, we're in downtown Detroit. And we're not going into Canada, but if we were, we'd actually have to drive south to get into Canada. Craziest thing. Maybe everybody else knew that, but I didn't. That from downtown Detroit, you'd have to drive south to get into Canada. Now, in addition to our delicious sandwiches, the kids are also getting some New York cheesecake and triple chocolate cake as desserts. So how do you guys like your dessert? Okay, here's one home we're looking at that's actually for sale. And I gotta tell you, it looks pretty decent. And this neighborhood is a beautiful neighborhood. I mean, it's not what you would expect. It's not what they tell you on the news about how Detroit's deteriorating and so bad. Don't get me wrong, we did see some urban blight. And, it's got the kids a little nervous on some of the streets. It looked a little rough. Looked like there were some gangbangers. But over here, where this house is for sale, it looks pretty nice. I gotta tell you, that's a nice, beautiful home. Okay, so Joey's running around inspecting. We called the real estate people, but right now they're busy, even though we left a message yesterday, which isn't a good sign. I don't like that. But I mean, this house is solid. Good brick construction. Basement windows look okay. The neighborhood, like I said, is just fantastic. This is the neighbor's house, so we don't want to intrude on them. Here's the backyard with what could be our garage. Now don't get me wrong, again, here we got a fixer-upper thing. This is not a perfect house. But at the same time, I mean, you know, you look at the outside and it's solid. I like that. There's Joey running around the backyard already. Okay, so here we are. We're going around the side and we're checking it out. Was pretty easy to find. That's a good thing. Again, we're looking around for any damage, any visible damage. It really doesn't look like it. It just looks like a really nice house. Garage doors are a little worn. We saw the screen problems. Now Dolores is exploring, checking it out. It's a nice little backyard, just like Christina would want. We've got some concrete. Have things. Okay, we're looking around. Little paint's needed. A few screens need to be replaced. As we walk up here. The doors are locked, but they are wooden floors. Pretty nice. Little chandelier.
There's a giant spider.
I'm telling you, this place does not look half bad, to be honest with you. And it's one of these houses that is very reasonably priced. And in this neighborhood, it looks like we got some, you know, pretty well-off people or something. This is the kitchen, something that I would want to improve on. Obviously, it needs work. Anyway, I think this is a really nice house. I think this is a really nice area, and we're going to look around a little bit more. We're inside the building now. This is very cool.
Recreation of his first office, because you could see from the pictures, we had to restore it. There was a lot of exacting research done on it, and almost everything we see here was actually handmade by some of our very talented volunteers. We created by a company, so we're very fortunate. Now over here is an interesting story. Now, what do you know about Henry Ford?
He made a car.
He made a car. Well, lots of people make cars. In fact, he's not the first one to make cars. The first cars were actually made by monks, believe it or not. And but he was one of the first to actually get the quadricycle running in the late 1800s, 1890s. Brady King had it going. Ari Olds was already manufacturing cars, mass-producing cars. But what's really interesting is this is Spider Huff's office. And who's Spider Huff? He is a young man who's considered an electrical genius, and he invented the electric magneto wheel. That's very important when we get back on and we start talking about how you started cars in the old days. Yeah.
Do they have McDonald's cups back?
I don't think so, but you know they used to pack. Well, that's my office. They used to pack lunches in burlap bags. And this is what we know as the Milwaukee Junction first engine, motorized engine, or we call it combustion engine. In his kitchen sink, back in the turn of the century. As we see, this is an Ari Olds. Ari Olds was already manufacturing horses, carriages. They started out with electric cars, believe it or not. Then we go to the alphabet cars. Go to A, B, and C, and D. And this is a Model C. What I want to show you is, you see this wing here? If you see a car with this wing on the word Ford, that means it was built in this building. We made 8 models of cars here. Most of them are the alphabet cars. The car that really took off and made Henry his money, though, was the N car. These are pieces of the N car. We're in the process of rebuilding it. side of the building is a Ford car. Everything on this side of the building is a Milwaukee Junction car, and each one has its own story.
What about that middle one?
What metal thing? This is Model A, and you can get your picture taken in here. So would you guys like to get in here?
That would be great.
I will take a picture of all of you. But you can only get in this car from one side, because back in those days, that's how it worked.
Safety first.
Now, that's a Model A, and that's a later built car, and we allow people to drive it. But let me ask you something. You see that on the side? I want you to beep that horn, because that's the first thing you would do in a Model T, and that's to chase the horses away. Beat it good, so it makes a really good sound.